The Road to the CFR is presented by the Edmonton Destination Marketing Hotels, Northlands, the Canadian Professional Rodeo Association, and iLink Media Group in partnership with Travel Alberta.
There is so many things that goes on in the tie-down roping that can make you a winner or send you on out of here with no money. You have to get along really well with your horse, and it has to be timing between the cowboy and the horse. And here comes a cowboy that's already won a Canadian title. He's won the big money at the Calgary Stampede. He's won the Pendleton Roundup. This is Al Bouchard. Al comes from Scandia. I've known this young man since he was 5 years old.
Was he tall when he was 5? Because I'll tell you what, he's tall now. If a basketball game breaks out, I want Al Bouchard on my team, and you are going to be my very last draft choice.
Well, I tell you what, the first time I saw Al, he was riding down the road in November, helping move the neighbors' cows. He was 5 years old, riding a big ranch horse, and he knew what he was doing. He really knew how to chase cows when he was 5 years old. He was cold, and his mom and dad asked him if he wanted to get out and get in the truck. He said, "No, I'm a cowboy. I'm staying here.
Yeah, well,
I'm taking him all the way home."
He is a cowboy. I'll tell you what, he's won the Calgary Stampede, the 50,000 over there a few years ago, and he's been, as you pointed out, a Canadian champion. And I love that. Watch when he gets off the horse, the two strides that it takes him to get from that horse to that calf, and that's money right there. You want to get there quickly.
Al is a cowboy that really works at his tie-down roping. I remember this young man was a truck driver, and watching him get out of the truck, he got out with a rope in his hand. Every time he wasn't working, he was practicing his roping. Now tonight he's got to give that calf a move. We don't want a broken barrier. We've got a barrier in the tie-down roping, as we do in the steer wrestling and the team roping. Now we need to reach. Now down to the calf. The calf should be on its feet when you get there. It is. That'll save some time. String the front, gather the hinds. Good job. Good job.
Well, 9-3 on the clock for Al Bouchard. Now, it's not official until such time as he rides ahead, slacks that rope for 6 seconds, gives that calf a chance to kick free. It's not going to do that, not when Al Bouchard wraps him up. But 9-3 on the clock for Al Bouchard.
Does a good job of getting that calf over. Rolled him a little bit too far, but now to make the tie, that's a good solid tie. Horse worked well. That's the thing you need to do on opening night.
Well, and I don't think he was totally happy with that run, and 9-3, that'll win you a lot of money at a lot of rodeos. Maybe at the Canadian Finals rodeo, it might not be fast enough. We're going to see. Eric DeBlanco back for his third time at the Canadian Finals rodeo. Look at that. He won $11,000. If he was to win the round, he would win more money in this round than he did all season long. But he did win enough to get to the Canadian Finals rodeo, and that's the key. And he's a multi-talented guy, too. Another one of our musically inclined cowboys. Darn good pianist is what Eric DeBlanco is. Big, strong guy. And I'll tell you what, just a good guy. I love watching this guy. Let's see how fast he can be right here.
Roping with the long one, time with the short one that's in his mouth right now. We call that the piggin string. It's about 6 feet long. Out to the calf. There's a nice shot. Now down to the calf. He's standing up. We'll tip him over. This will be a faster tie than what Al had right there. All right.
And he might have been a little bit faster. If we get another look at this, I want you to watch him get off the horse. You kind of want to get off that horse on the fly, so you're actually running towards the calf as you come off the horse. He actually had to kind of get down and then start the run, and that might have cost him a couple of tenths of a second. Still, very nice. Solid 8 and 9 for Eric.
The cowboy we're looking at comes from Oakdale, California, and that is roping country in California. He's 17th in the world all-around race. This is RYLE Smith. Now, RYLE has been up here with us all season long, and he owes his appearance at the Canadian Finals road to Al Bouchard. You were telling me the story.
Well, it's a great story, too. He broke down. He still had a couple of rodeos that he had to get to qualify and have enough rodeos in the bank to actually qualify for the Canadian Finals rodeo. His vehicle broke down. Who did he phone? Al Bouchard, longtime friend. And, of course, those two guys were battling for those bottom spots. Fortunately, both of them made it, but Al didn't hesitate for a minute, went and lugged this guy off to the next rodeo, got him sorted out, and it's a great story. Nice job by Al Bouchard, and RYLE Smith is at the Canadian Finals.
He is a cowboy talent. Now, out to the calf. That's clean on there. Hangs onto the rope. Down inside. We'll tip him over. Now, hustle with the tie. Good deal. Let the time take care of itself. I think he might be a little bit too long.
Well, 9-6 is where he's at, so it's going to put him in third place, and I just don't know that those 9s are necessarily going to hold up unless things kind of go south for some guys. But nevertheless, we talked about the aggregate, and of course that aggregate is simply the total time throughout the entire 6 rounds, and that pays like a go-round, and so it's very important that you get things done solidly, at least in all of those rounds.
Here we go. 19 years of age, and he is a rookie here at the Canadian Finals Rodeo. We're looking at Katie's brother. This is Kyle Lucas right here from Carstairs. He and Logan Bird both qualified for their first Canadian Finals Rodeo. Kyle, you were telling me, David, is 3 weeks younger than Logan Bird.
Yeah, and you know, we saw that super up there that he won the Bonnyville Rodeo. He did it on his birthday, on his 19th birthday. That's kind of cool, and that was kind of the highlight of his season. Kyle Lucas, of course, dad, Smokin' Joe, a 4 times Canadian champion. Sister, Smokin' Katie, of course, is our color gal down there. So as we watch right now, as Kyle Lucas gets ready. All right, buddy, out and on it. All right, Kyle Lucas, quickly going to work. Get to this calf, put him on the ground. Here's where the money's won or lost. Good fast hands. Okay, Kyle. Now he's in at 9-6. Got to mount up and hope that calf stays tied. That required 6. And you can see him shaking his head. He's not very pleased with that. Not very pleased with the way things went. I'll tell you what, for your first run at the Canadian Finals Rodeo, got him roped, got him tied, everything's okay, 9-6.
A little bobble right there, had to go back and do it. The slack didn't come back the way he wanted. Here we go, Montana Cowboy right here, and a good looking black American quarter horse. Very willing partnership of Cowboy and bucking horse going on right here. This is Jason Schaeffer, roping at his first Canadian Finals Rodeo. He's from Broadus, Montana, 23 years old. And that part of Montana is absolutely wild about their tie-down roping. They have got a crew of cowboys down there that don't rodeo a whole bunch, but they are very, very talented cowboys. This young man is just one of them. Watch him back on in and get that going. You try and balance your loop inside. The cowboys have probably already checked their equipment. We want to make sure that the ropes are all solid. We want to make sure the horses are tacked up properly. A buckle not done up properly. A rope that may have a flaw in it. A broken rope can take you out of contention here, not only in the round, but out of the aggregate. Montana's outside. Horse works good. Now down to the calf. Oh, a little slow to make the flank. Now we've missed the tie, or missed the front end there. There we go.
Well, you know, sometimes that old expression, haste makes waste. You know, he started a run that looked like it was going to be in the 8s. It winds up being 10-1. And as we watch it again, you're going to see a couple of mistakes happen right here. Now he gets to this calf, doesn't get him flanked the first time, has to double clutch and get him down. Now goes to work and then misses with the pig and string and has to do it a second time. Anytime you have to do things twice that you're supposed to do once, it's going to cost you time.
That's a real talented cowboy, by the way. He made that tie at the end. That looks good. Chad Johnson. Tie down, team roping cowboy right here. He did very well over in Morris, Manitoba this year. One Tabor, one Grimshaw. He's been a tie down world rookie of the year. And he is a cowboy, and he's not as big as some of the other tie down ropers, Dave. You were alluding to that earlier tonight.
And I think you and I need to correct something. We said that Morgan Grant was the only 2-event cowboy. This guy's in the team roping and the tie down roping, so there are a couple of guys. And I'll tell you, you're right though. Not a big guy, but all kinds of heart. If he weighs 180 pounds, 176 of them are heart. And watch him go to work right now, very quickly. All right, Chad, had to let that calf get up, and you talked about the importance of that. Now he goes to work with a good fast hand. Chad Johnson is in at 8-5. Nothing wrong with that. How about 8-5 to go to the lead?
If we could have kept that calf up, we'd have been quicker still.
Oh, yes,
wow.
You're absolutely right.
Down
He would have
calf.
challenged that 8-second plateau. Watch what he does, though. Watch the hands. This is the part where he makes up a whole lot of time. That is nicely done. Nicely done.
Neat job. All right. Just resetting his equipment, the American cowboy from Blackfoot, Idaho is next to go. His second Canadian Finals rodeo qualification. We're talking about Nate Baldwin. This cowboy has a master's degree in management. 5 times the Wilderness Circuit champion. Spinning that loop in his hand. These ropes that the cowboys use many times are made out of poly down there. They have a little bit more weight to them. A little bit more weight than the T-roping ropes. Nate is just putting that pig and string back in his mouth right now.
Well, I'll tell you something. This is an awfully, awfully good roper. He's been to the National Finals Rodeo, Wrangler NFR a couple of times, and Nate Baldwin can get things done. Plus, he's a real good guy. Anytime you want to chat with Nate Baldwin, he's just a guy who loves to talk rodeo, loves to talk horses with you as he's getting ready right now.
He's got the whole family with him this weekend. He's got mom and dad here. He's got the kids here as well, down to the calf. Now, when a calf jumps at you like that, that is tough. Now, he'll go ahead and finish this one off. One of the best in the world right there. Boy, there is nothing tougher to do than to try and tie down a calf that jumps up the rope like that and meets you. The only thing worse than that is when they meet you with their head right in your midsection. They did a good job.
Well, and it looked like he was doing things right, but right there kind of missed the slack a little bit. Now gets to that calf, and he's on the wrong side. Like you say, he's coming back at you. That's not the way you want it to go, and now he has trouble getting them on the ground. You know what? I'll tell you what, 11-9 is really not that bad a time, and that is the slowest time so far. These ropers have been very, very good.
Here's a man that's won the Canadian Championship before in the tie-down roping. He's got so many titles, 10 Canadian titles to his credit. You can see he's won the $100,000 at the Calgary Stampede. Second generation rodeo star Curtis Cassidy, and a great horse this time. This is Kurt's horse Stick. I absolutely love this horse. Watch how straight he stops. This horse helps a cowboy so much, it's almost like cheating to ride this horse. Inside, we've got everything ready to go. Timber Moore has used this horse a lot too. Just right. Now down. Remember, he's won a Canadian title before. Yeah, look there. Yeah. Isn't that great?
Oh boy. Oh boy. 8-1 on the clock for Curtis Cassidy. Might be thinking about that 11th Canadian Championship. He's won it in the tie-down roping, steer wrestling, and many, in fact. Oh, and he is close on the line. He really challenged that line, but did a great job getting out and getting that one done in 8-1. High point titles is where I was going with talking about all of those championships of Curtis Cassidy. That's a great run to take the lead. Dean Edge, Grimby, Alberta, 7th Canadian Finals Rodeo, and that is Sid that he's climbed. I talked to him about Sid. I said, how's the horse feeling? Because he's a veteran. He's a campaigner that's been to a lot of rodeos and a lot of Canadian Finals rodeos, and here they are. This is a great team right here when you talk about Dean Edge. He hadn't been to the Canadian Finals Rodeo the last 2 years. He kind of took care of that this year. He is back, and Sid is the mount. Here we go. Come on, Dean. Right there.
Oh, we got something. We got something, Dave.
Well, and what he's doing right now, and you can see it, he's keeping alive in that aggregate right there, kind of just trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear right there, because that isn't exactly the way you wanted it to go. But he stays alive in the aggregate. Didn't work out the first night for Dean Edge. That's okay. He'll be back tomorrow, and I guarantee you he'll get things sorted out.
That might be a very, very important calf tied down on Sunday afternoon. Dean's done this before. Now watch him reach underneath. He ties that bottom front foot first. As long as you tie any 3 legs, it does not matter which 3.
Here's the other teenager. Here's Logan Bird. Boy, I love watching this young man. And, you know, he was having a pretty good year, but he was thinking, I don't know if my year's going to work out. And then he went up to Ponoka and just won a ton of money. And that really set him up for his season. The Ponoka Stampede can do that for you. That's for darn sure.
He was so cool at Ponoka, under pressure. This young man has got poise. That didn't bother him at all. He rides up, gets spinning his rope just right. He's not going to take a bad shot. This is a well-prepared cowboy here. Get to the calf. There we are. Now down. Look at those 19-year-old legs taking there. Now watch this tie. Look out, Curtis Cassidy. We're coming to get you. Yeah.
Just one little bobble right there, and you can see once again that body language as Logan's saying to himself, oh, nuts. I could have been 8-3, instead I was 9-3. And we'll take another look at it and see where it went wrong. As you see right there, here it is. And right there, just missed as he went to pick up that pig and string and wrap up those 3 legs. Unfortunately, takes him to 9-3, a little longer than where you wanted to be. Curtis Cassidy still sitting atop the board. Well, we talked about Morgan Grant, the Texas A&M man, back for his second appearance. There's that number 1 on his back, meaning he is the top money earner for the entire 2013 season, on top of which he's just a darn good guy. And Morgan Grant comes in here in second place overall in the tie-down roping.
You can tell this cowboy is a winner. He is a very good thinker. This young man is always watching, waiting, learning. He watches every calf go, every steer. He's been down at that timed event end all night long. He knows what he has to do here, and that was not it.
No, doggone it, that wasn't it. And he hadn't missed a whole lot of calves all year long. This night really didn't go the way Morgan Grant quite had it in mind. He's the number 1 high point man coming in here, but they're going to be chasing him, unfortunately, with the no time right there for Morgs.
The loop was just not open to go around the calf's head, and that's too bad. Oh boy.
Well, Timber Moore from Aubrey, Texas, coming in here with his 3rd Canadian Finals rodeo qualification, twice been to the National Finals. He's been our Canadian Rookie of the Year back in 2007. And Timber Moore, I'll tell you what, is just a great, great cowboy. Been the American Rookie of the Year as well. And you watch him right here. He's the cousin of Clayton Moore, by the way, and we know what Clayton Moore did back in the steer wrestling. So let's see what cousin Timber can do right here, the Texas cowboy. Now, needs to be 8 flat or faster to win the round. That's what it comes down to.
And he's riding the man's horse that has the lead right now. That's old Stick will take him out there. Get in there. Now, let's get down. Oh boy, we're in the money. Calf kicked him a little bit. Put that foot back in there and make the tie. Good as he could do. Good as he could do on that calf.
Well, the doggone calf kind of let him down just a little bit right there with a couple of kicks at most inopportune times, because it looked like it was going to be fast. He had that calf on the ground so quickly, but then that calf kicked a couple of times. Watch what happens. Gets nice and low right here, gets this calf on the ground, gets a hold of that front leg, but there's a kick and another one right there. So that's what really cost him. Doggone it. You got to have the cooperation of the calf. You know, in the timed events, that stock is every bit as important as it is in the riding events. Didn't work out nearly as well as we'd hoped for Timber Moore.
He's still in the aggregate. That's the important thing. That's the best news we can take out of that.
Well, there's a man who's made a few victory laps in this arena in his outstanding career. Of course, we talk about Curtis Cassidy. It was all brought to us by Alberta Premium Whiskey in the tie-down roping.